This is the regenerative agriculture episode
Yes.
where we went to Canada.
I remember learning so much about this, all like the cover crops, like regen ag. I remember, and I think this might have been one of the first instances where we got really stuck in and we were on the farm. I also remember I wore the complete wrong clothes. I think I went in heeled boots, and then it was a really mucky farm.
Yeah, I was embarrassed for you and your family.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but fine.
No, it was really fun. I fell in various different materials.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Well, I'm
is
embarrassed for
kind
you
of
and your
funny.
family then.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. And there's some fun parts to this, and I think there's also like a big part that you weren't involved in. That's kind of emotion. So
I'm excited to
if
see.
you can drop a tear, that would be great.
Okay, I did actually do a lot of acting back in the day, so
Go for it.
I'll get my eyes ready.
Single tear.
A single tear, right.
Welcome to The Alternative Route. Over the last 100 years, we have become reliant on a few crops rather than many. As an Irish person who is all too familiar with the history of monoculture crops and the problems it can bring, it's a subject that holds great meaning for me. We have become too dependent on grains, particularly wheat, corn, and also soy. Big Food have capitalized on the popularity, causing mass deforestation, health implications, and soil erosion through heavy production. We want to find out why this happened and why, with so many options for diversity, it continues to be prevalent. How do we change it, and who do we have to influence? Episode 4: The Food Problem. Meet Lieutenant Commander Brian Vaughan, my cousin, good friend, and a hero of New York. Former Cop of the Year and 9/11 first responder and survivor. He was part of the NYPD for over 30 years, now in private security. He's also the most proud Irish man I know.
You know, during the famine, people had to leave in order to survive, and it was only to America's benefit, in my opinion, because, you know, the Irish came here and flourished. They built these buildings, they built the streets, they policed the city. They really made it what it was and what it is today.
Today we're meeting at the Irish Famine Memorial to talk about our roots and significance, and also the memory of what this place means to him and to the planet in this location so central to the US economy. Ireland relied on a single crop, leading to the Great Irish Famine of 1845 to 1850 and beyond. Mass starvation and emigration ensued. Blight from water mold and the failing of the potato crop caused the migration of millions of people from Ireland during this time. 50% of all immigrants to North America in this period were from Ireland. This monoculture reminds us about over-reliance and something that could happen again.
So you know how I feel when I get to a place like this. What do you feel?
For me, it's one of the parts where things that happened in the past should be used to understand where we're going in the future. And the over-reliance on an organic crop causing the migration of a few million people is a pretty important marker. You know, it makes me ask questions about how over-reliant we are on things, how bringing diversity into agriculture and diet could be a positive thing. But it also makes me think about how we need to have more action in a shorter space of time, because we're kind of running the same way as this did for people. And we don't want to create any more memorials if possible.
Could you imagine our great-great-grandfathers
I know.
looking down on us now saying, I can't believe Brian and Sam are together.
The most Irish thing about this is the fact that we've been connected by potatoes.
This is the Farm of the Future in New Brunswick, Canada. One of 2 sites like this globally. McCain are a business partner of Strong Roots. They are Big Food, one of the top 10 food brands globally. We have lots of questions. Because I travel so much, family time is so important. My wife and 2 boys have changed my life so much over the last 10 years. There's an inbuilt concern that comes with having kids, where you find yourself being anxious about things that might happen. You end up realizing the harm we're causing to the planet has a finite timeline, and if we're not going to do something for ourselves, you feel driven to do it for them. This is Chloe Sorvino. She has written for many publications, including Forbes, where I came across her writing frequently on the subject of food. She has recently written a book about the meat industry, COVID, and where alternative protein is going. I wanted to get her opinion on where things are going and how and what solutions she feels can benefit big food culture.
In 2020, it was just a really crystallizing moment for me, but also so many different Americans who for the first times were really seeing grocery store shelves not having meat on them, you know, having different milk shortages, having egg shortages. Folks were talking about the labor, folks were talking about the harm to health, but folks were even talking about sometimes the power and consolidation aspects, but no one was really bridging all these different things and really talking about how our business, this industry has been set up to create this outcome. And we need to address at first just even how we got here to begin to unravel where we go.
Yeah. What we're talking about here is a time during the pandemic when people panic bought so much food, had so much in their freezers and refrigerators at home that they didn't need to go and buy anything at the store. This completely disrupted the food supply chain, which meant that there was a backlog in animal slaughterhouses, leading to disease and huge amounts of health problems for the workers that work there.
I mean, it was a time of astronomical waste, right? Tens of thousands of hogs and cattle being not able to get to the slaughterhouse, not being able to fit through the slaughterhouse anymore, and having to get shot or gassed in with their farmers. I mean, that level of waste it was so unfathomable to even understand how we got to the place where that would happen. But then also let's talk about, 'cause that's not just the only waste that was happening, right? There was also all the layers of waste that was already built into the industry and how, you know, there were so many different resources, corn, soy, soil, probably depleted from a lot of nutrients to get that meat to where it was then not even going to do anything. It was going to sit in a landfill.
How do you feel about moving from something that comes from a living creature versus something that's grown in a bioreactor?
There are no phytonutrients. These cells are not able to actually choose what they're eating. It's another form of monoculture in some ways. And there's also the long-term question of how this is actually made, right? You need these bioreactors to do that. Right now, there are only very small bioreactors available because they've been used for vaccines.
For the general consumer, we're talking about building-sized bioreactors.
Massive, they've never been built for it.
It's a really good point because processed is such a negative term for food, and we can't get to where we want to go without a significantly complex process in order to get there.
This is a very potentially groundbreaking, potentially revolutionizing production process.
Since we've filmed this, the development of bioreactor-grown cell protein has become a hugely overinvested industry. And because of the polarizing factors of alternative protein in the US, Florida have gone as far as to ban biomeat in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, it's crazy.
I thought it was quite a positive solution because it's way more sustainable, and you're basically creating a like-for-like meat product that has all the same nutrients, but you're just not killing the animal. So why have they banned it?
It is that. I think where it crosses sort of conservatism and religion and in a part of the world that's sort of trying to resist change, they're using it as a political device as opposed to thinking of it as an innovation solution. Chloe talks more about it here, but it's sort of early stage and they're almost like, stop playing God.
These lab-grown meat startups are able to get, sovereign wealth fund backers or billionaire backers or really large pension funds to invest in them and give them money that's never really been seen before in the food industry. And it's been able to essentially get them to get into the market without proving it with customers. And so these products are selling at a loss. They're not profitable. They wouldn't actually be financially sustainable in a real system. And yet there are investors that are committed to making sure this protein gets out there, whether we really like it or not, or whether consumers are buying it or not. And it's created a lot of mass market manipulation and will continue to do so that have ripple effects throughout this food industry.
What a fascinating conversation that was, with such wisdom handed over. I think it's time to get back on the road with Christelle and find some more people to take this journey with us on the alternative route. Welcome to Florenceville, New Brunswick, Canada.
Hello!
Welcome.
Thank you. I feel like I'm about to get blown away by the wind.
How's things?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. You
Oh,
well?
gosh.
McCain Foods, the global potato giant, have realised that they need to be part of the solution. The Farm of the Future aims, among other things, to improve soil health.
This is the capital of the French fry world. It all started here. Yeah, this is the French fry capital of the world.
By the way, there is a turn. There is
Okay.
like a little horseshoe thing.
Okay.
That's the best way I can describe that. Straight down, basically. Then there is a turn that I'm sure will confuse me.
If we get lost, we can find the alternative route.
But how many times are you going to say that?
I'm
true.
hoping to put it in every paragraph.
Okay.
Alternative route.
And then what do I have to pay you every
2
time you say
tanks
it?
over there.
Oh wow, for the potatoes.
I don't know. Oh look, there's a big factory ahead. Oh, you getting that smell of potatoes?
I genuinely was like,
Yeah.
I can smell. I thought it was just in my head. I was like, when you talk about something and
yeah.
you talk it into existence.
No, I think that's from the steam. Oh look, McCain over there, look.
Oh yeah.
Tree. That's
So that's their main, and that's all the steam of the blanching potatoes.
Yeah, that's where the delicious scent is coming
Okay,
from.
we are now turning left.
I can't believe we're at the McCain factory.
It's huge.
It's so cool. It's right on the river.
From looking online, I can see that McCain are using various different methods to try and achieve a completely regenerative crop system before 2030. In school, we used to learn about crop rotation, water erosion, and in my career I've been lucky enough to grow up next to farms and around a lot of potatoes. So I wonder how different this is.
How are those shoes going?
Actually, do you know what? They're really comfortable.
I said pack the wedding boots. You were like, yeah, with a heel, right? Here's Eve. There he is now.
Ah.
Hey, Eve.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
Good to see you.
Christelle, lovely to meet you.
How's
to meet you.
things? Nice
How
to
are
meet
ya?
you.
Nice to meet you.
Shall we?
Shall we? We shall.
Let's
yes,
go.
Please join me. So we'll really see Farm of the Future as really a farm where we're going to be looking at different things over time. They are commercial farms growing crops to be sold, crops to be processed, and the idea is to keep learning from it. We're looking at technology, so how to integrate technology in our process. Long-term objective is about the farm being carbon neutral, so
Yeah.
these things will take time, so we need that long-term commitment. And it's really the beauty of Farm of the Future is we've got the commitment from the family and from the board to be able to look long-term and act long-term.
For a farm to be carbon neutral, there needs to be something happening called biosequestration. That basically means that the carbon that's being produced on the farm in the actual operation of farming is being sucked back into the plants, creating a neutral or negative effect. So what was created is being taken back out of the atmosphere.
I suggest I would just do a little hop here.
Okay.
Springtime, so there's water rolling, obviously, but I think it's going to be safe if we cross here.
Lead the way.
Just be very careful. Just a little hop. Oop.
Oh no, I feel like I have images of me
You're
just
good.
falling over flat on my face. I'm
That's
good.
good.
I know I'll be
Sam,
that
you're
person.
good.
I'll be that person.
Goods, yeah. So basically here is where we're going to be planting our potatoes in probably, 2-3 weeks from now.
One of the things that's completely throwing me, having grown up in the potato industry, is all these stones. Like, this was the enemy of the fresh potato crop.
This time of year, the rocks are actually capturing heat and warming our soil more rapidly.
Wow.
And,
So the rocks are actually a good.
well, for us, it's a good thing. Yes and no. At harvest, it is still a problem, obviously, because of the bruising issue.
That's like the odd chip or fry that you get has a mark,
mark
on
on
it.
it, yeah.
Kind of,
Oh, is that, you know, when you eat crisps, chips?
Yep.
Yeah. We know when they're, sometimes you get like a little green speck. Is that from bruising?
Green? No, when it's green, it's because they got exposed to it's what we call sunburn.
Oh, the sunburn.
Yeah. Sunburn. Yeah. Potatoes
Wow,
can have
I
sunburn.
did not. So they go green with a sunburn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Animal and cover crop rotation is something that was used traditionally in agriculture, an old method that has in recent times become less common. The farm of the future are bringing animals back.
Okay.
you go first. Lightfoot.
Be careful. It might be a little wet, so because all the water is staying in the field, it might be wet, so you might
Yeah.
actually sink
It
in.
feels a bit like quicksand.
It
Yeah.
does. Yes,
Oh,
indeed.
no.
Yeah. Be careful, Sam.
Yeah, Sam,
All
thank you.
good?
Not really, like.
Oh la la. You're a brave man. Oh la la. Oh my God.
It's okay.
We'll have to hose you down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be fine. Clearly, there's a leadership position being taken by McCain Foods as a big food organization to do things better first. What do other big food companies need to do to follow in your footsteps?
I think that companies needs to think about how we grow our food, and as large companies, we need to be able to support our grower in either research or in the transition of being able to do things. It's easy at McCain because it's in the family's blood. Basically, farming is in the family's blood, so it comes a bit more naturally, I would say. But to me, if we really, really want to change our production system, all players need to be there, and of course, you need to provide some support to the growers and some knowledge, which is very, very critical.
Is there a part of the roots that is actively being sought to be improved to go forward, because you're as much part of the problem as you could be in the solution?
Yeah, I think so too. We understand that what we've done in the past probably had as fit. It did solve some issues, but it also created a lot of issues. And we're really at the point now, especially with climate change, that we understand that if we don't change anything, things will only get worse.
So the future of food is regenerative agriculture at the farm of the future.
It's regenerative agriculture.
Did you know that soil has DNA? I certainly didn't until very recently. Imagine understanding the soil at such a micro level that you could map it over time to learn how it yielded, what it needed, and ultimately whether it required more supplements to have better health. That sounds like us, right? Well, that's exactly what one of the scientists at McCain does.
Ah.
Well, should we try?
Okay, so what? Oh.
Be careful.
No! No! No!
I would say.
Come on.
I'm so scared. Okay, all right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow. Have you both recovered from your fall? I think so.
So Michelle, you're going to teach us about the DNA of soil.
I am, at least as much as I can.
I didn't even know soil had DNA.
Neither
You know,
did I.
Not a lot of people have actually for quite some time understood that soil is living. Yeah, and it's a huge black box almost because, we've spent a lot of time and resources into understanding the chemistry and the physical property of soil. But we really don't know very much about what are the key players, the living players in the soil. So what we're kind of looking into uncovering are three large branches of the tree of life, if you will. So we have our bacteria, we have our fungi, your mushrooms, and then we have our animals. So those include your insects, your groundhogs, all of the things that kind of live around and move. And so those are kind of the three big groups that we're trying to understand, and they work together in this magical way. They incorporate with the structure of the soil, they talk to the plants that you grow, and that's really the whole ecosystem.
Wow.
All of the players, we're trying to understand what they're doing, how they're talking to each other, and how at the end of the day that's going to help us keep producing food.
How does this give us a DNA barcode?
This is a soil core, and a typical day in the life of getting a soil sample starts with bringing one of these guys in, and it's as simple as stepping on this, give it a little turn,
Do you know what that reminds me of?
and you have a soil sample.
Have you seen when they there's a similar machine and you do this with cheese to get a cheese sample?
Yeah, that's basically it.
I keep hearing players and going, okay, who's the goalie? Who's the striker? What's everyone's job here?
That's exactly
it's
it.
a really good way
I've
of
heard
thinking
so
about it.
many beautiful analogies. Think of soil like an orchestra. There's different
Yeah.
players. There's, the farmer in charge. He's waving the conductor's wand. The players can be different, but it's about who are we nurturing? Who are we, can we all play the same song with different players? Yes, it's what needle are we moving toward?
So far in this project, the alternative route has been going back to our roots as opposed to trying to create something new from scratch. It's so interesting.
Nice play on words there, Sam.
Thank you.
I think you're right.
What did you call this one?
Lombric here,
And what's this one called?
that's a red wiggler.
A red wiggler.
Red wiggler, yeah.
Just saying it on thing.
So that's your night, what do you call it, night crawler?
And we're gonna try these now, aren't we?
Be my
Wait,
guest.
you think you? I'm not going anywhere near it. No
I don't
thanks.
eat those though, sorry.
I just wonder though, we have considered insects as a protein, mealworms and lots of different larvae.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not putting it on a pizza?
Not right now, sorry.
Why I'm filled with a bit of hope is because there have been so many issues with big food companies and mass producing food in a really unsustainable way. But then when you see big companies like McCain actually changing their stance and having things like Farm of the Future, it kind of gives you that sense of hope, and actually things are starting to change. And if it's a huge company like McCain, surely that means that other food companies are going to follow suit. I feel quite positive, and I think the good thing is usually with these sorts of, I guess, research-based documentaries and stuff, you kind of leave feeling, oh no, our country's just going to pot. But actually, there's things that are being done, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yum. Oh, look at these.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Can I be that annoying person? I always take photos of my food.
Of course. I told you had to teach me how to do better social stuff. I feel like we should cheers our potatoes in honor of Eve,
Yeah.
the absolute legend.
To Eve.
From
Oh, they're
yesterday.
crispy.
Yeah.
To Eve.
Cheers, Steve. Oh my god. Oh my god. They're so good. I don't know why I'm surprised.
I don't expect anything less. They're so advanced. But I think just because they've done so much research and it's everyone's a subject matter expert in a particular area, and so when they all come together, like Eve and Michelle, it's just incredible what they can do. And
Yeah.
it's so exciting to see if they end up, if this basically goes global, like
Yeah.
it will change the future of farming.
It was interesting when we were asking Eve about, is all this effort going towards the fact that, we've also messed it up? And he was super honest about the
Yeah.
fact that, he, as part of a big food company, if they were responsible for the part of the original problem because of that era of just basically putting chemicals in the soil,
Yeah.
that now they have to counteract it and push it forward.
Yeah.
And I was really hopeful to hear that, he genuinely thinks, given enough time, that regenerative farming can be the solution.
Yeah.
And that it can be global and it can work all the way down to small farm holdings.
The incredible work by the people at the McCain Farm of the Future reminded me of another couple of people I wanted to meet. People associated and working with big businesses who are trying for change. I caught up with my good friend racing driver James Rowe, who races for Andretti, another brand who are doing their best to influence change in the world.
You are a Andretti driver, one of the biggest names in motorsport globally. They have particular efforts towards sustainability. Can you talk about a few of those?
They basically systemize everything from what to do with their used oil, their used tires, the trucks that they use, the diesel that they use in the trucks. They've set targets to have electric trucks.
If you take something like tires, for example, have you knowledge of like what happens, how the reusage is beneficial and sustainable?
Yeah, so what they tend to do on the Firestone side of things, in which we compete on, is they get used tires, used components, and basically break them all up and reproduce them, remold them, so they have what's called the green tire, and that's made of reproduced rubber.
Okay.
So 90% of the time, with other championships and other industries, once the tire is used, it's disposed. But in our game, those tires are broken up into thousands of little pieces and then remolded to be produced to get a second life out of them. So
is that safe? Is their endurance good? Or what is their usage? Is it in retail cars or back into racing?
Back into motorsports. So that's one of our ways of being sustainable and playing our part, is limiting the amount of new tires that are being produced. So obviously with supply chain issues and everything that goes on with that, it's a big win-win for all involved. Not only are we doing good for the planet, but we're getting extra use out of what we're using.
Most consumers, consider motorsport to be, the problem, not the solution.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we get to, what significant differences are being made that sort of spawn in motorsport that end up in standard conventional retail cars?
Motorsport programs are testing things to extremely high tolerances. It's all going hybrid. So all the research and development, the hours and hours and hours of testing and development that goes into hybrid units in motorsport is ultimately then used to the end user, the street car at the end of the day. So,
and by hybrid you mean both combustion and electric?
Yeah, right now it's the split between the two here in North America. But then you look at Formula E in Europe on a global stage, they're fully electric. So you have Porsche, you have Mercedes, Maserati, all these big brands involved, and they too are putting their R&D money into the Formula E Championship to see, what can we do here with electric components? How do we make this work in a competitive environment? Because we know if it works in a competitive environment, it's going to work here on the street. And then the OEMs have huge confidence in bringing it to market with the end user here in the public space. So
this is like a consolidated test for technology and innovation in the real world outside of motorsport.
It's exactly that to your end user sitting at home. Well, if the sustainable tire is good enough for Scott Dixon to win a 7th IndyCar championship in IndyCar, it's certainly good enough to put it on his Prius.
Much like the Irish famine, food insecurity continues to be a problem today. In Britain, I was involved in a very special project with a partner called Banquet.
Robin was one of our partners at Strong Roots. He has a company called Banquet, and Banquet is a food redistribution software for making sure that food banks have what they need. Food banks are inundated with stuff
So they can't distribute on.
or that people don't want.
Right, yeah.
So his platform basically allows them to kind of
Filter through everything.
well, say what they need. Here's Robin.
Hello, hi Robin, nice to meet you. I'm Purcell.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good to meet you.
Good to see you, man.
Hey, Sam.
How's
How you
things?
doing? Doing well. How are you?
Great to see you again.
You too. So we are in the South London warehouse, which is home to Nord and Brixton Food Bank, which is one of the biggest food banks here in London.
Okay.
There's a lot of waste in the food bank ecosystem.
Right.
So we're essentially trying to modernise that to make sure that a food bank only gets the stuff that it actually needs. Lots of food banks like this, they've probably got boxes here of stuff they just can't use.
Yeah.
This food is going to waste. So if you can reduce waste efficiently, you can feed more people. So that's what we're trying to do.
The cost of living, due to a number of factors like Brexit, various conflicts, and a weak economy, has led to dire circumstances for many Britons.
What are the circumstances in which people end up having to come to a food bank?
Now is the worst time ever for food banks. If you think what we've all experienced in the last couple of years, you know, the height of the pandemic, for lots of reasons we know, is the worst time ever for food banks. Now we've come into a cost of living crisis. Nearly 1 million people are using a food bank for the first time. You know, it's to answer your question, it's like changing a lot, right?
Everybody.
So people that have a job, lots of people that are finding themselves having to use a food bank. People that have never used a food bank before.
It's incredible. It feels like we don't have a food shortage problem, we have a food distribution problem.
Yeah. It's just like stats that would suggest that there's enough food waste to feed 30 million people a year.
Wow.
So there is enough food. How do we distribute it?
Half the population.
Yeah, so we're looking at it going, okay, there shouldn't be any wrong donated items going to a food bank. That's the puzzle we're trying to solve. That comes down to logistics.
I'm glad I met Robin through work. That project that we did with the Make Veg Poverty History campaign was great, and I want to do more of that, and so does Robin. And I think what he's built has the ability to operate in more countries than just London. Amazing to think that just as a simple technology of redistribution, or like taking account of what people need, understanding what their nutritional profile is, so simple, just not being done.
Yeah, and that's what I think blew me from that whole process, was it was such a scalable business model. And it's, like you said, it's such a simple concept, but it's so useful, and no one's doing it because, like, you know, we were watching back, I naively thought, okay, a food bank does what it says on the tin, that it's there, it provides loads of food for people who need it, but then they're not getting the right food, and also it's hard to distribute it all. But what they're doing is finding what those people specifically need. And the fact that he's built this infrastructure to do that, like you said, it can definitely be distributed worldwide.
It's scalable, but no one's interested in investing the money in it. And I think normally I've always found that these charitable organizations always kind of, you know, make some profitability for somewhere, because this is just already bought and paid for product that's been redistributed, and no big organizations can actually make any money out of it. There's no incentive for people to make this work.
That's the thing, because I found it so funny. You said, oh, they need some motivation. But I mean, there's clearly an issue that needs to be solved, but I guess they need a monetary motivation, right? And I think that's the issue, which is
Seems
crazy.
to always be the way.
The kindness of humans never ceases to amaze me. Fully operating on donations and the goodwill of people, Banquet has been able to build a vital food system for over 1 million.
I think it's incredible without technology and space and funding that this is happening in a place like this to the efficiency that it is, because a normal commercial execution of this is completely different and, as you say, completely efficient. Like, what's happening here with the goodwill of people is incredible.
Elizabeth is the manager of this food bank here in Lambeth, a true community hero.
This is our area where we receive all our incoming stock, which comes from a variety of places, which includes our ordering through Banquet.
What the people need as opposed to what people want to donate, right?
Yes, yeah, what we're short of on the shelves and what we need to ensure a healthy, nutritional, balanced parcel. So yeah, that really helps us, having that opportunity to bulk buy.
This is a place where people can come and get advice and counselling and be part of the community as well, right?
Yeah, so we're looking to break the cycle of poverty, looking not to be here. And so making sure that people have got all their benefits all in place. If they've been refused, can we help get them back?
Yeah.
You know, if they're in debt, can we help with debt management?
Wow.
Can we help with...
So you do all of
things?
that, so it's not...
Yeah.
I mean, food bank is quite a broad term. You do a lot more than that.
Yes, we definitely want to help people. This section is more about packing the parcels and preparing them ready to go. And this isn't dissimilar to an online shop. So when they've got a voucher, someone will ring them and go, okay, we're ready to deliver. We can deliver on Thursday.
Yeah.
What would you like in your parcel? And they'll ask them about all the diets from gluten-free, halal, dairy-free.
So it's all done over the phone.
Yes.
So you literally have people
on the phone the whole time, just calling up?
Calling them, yeah.
I incorrectly assumed that it would be the basics, but like
Dairy-free
Yeah,
milk.
there's
all the
10
milks.
different
Wow.
Yeah.
non-dairy milks and,
Yeah.
you know,
The gluten-free, if you need to have that, we've got all of that.
It's amazing.
Diabetic, halal.
amazing.
We also cater for people if you're in hotels and all you've got is a kettle, we'll think about the food of those.
Of course.
So when they phone the people, they do then have a conversation, and somebody's had that conversation, had time to speak to them.
Yeah.
And they might be feeling really bad that day and they go, oh, it's coming today. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, could you feed my dog? Or oh, I've got a birthday tomorrow.
Of course,
and
because what you're doing also ties in with sort of helping with mental health and stuff. So that's,
Yeah.
I guess, also why you call them.
Yeah. This is the last bit of the process, and this is where the parcels are getting ready to go out, and these are going to be delivered today. So these are all ready to go out.
So these are the packs that are going to be delivered to people's doors.
Yes.
And they're all basically bespoke depending on
Yes.
what the conversation
Yeah.
side that the person is. Wow.
And you can see the different side, but also you get a feel of why we're continuing to deliver, because if you just see the size of this parcel, a mum may be having a buggy.
This is
She's
for
not
one
gonna-
house?
Yes.
Okay.
She's not going to get that home. And so what is she going to do? The kids are hungry, biscuits and sweets will leave the fruit and veg behind.
Yeah.
So we really felt we want to make sure you get the whole parcel and everything we could offer.
But do you have a lot of people when you speak to them on the phone who don't have basic cooking skills? And
Yeah, so we put recipes in
I
of
was
the
gonna
most
ask,
simple.
okay.
And we'd love to do more with recipes, but just time and headspace.
I can definitely help with that. It's so much more than a food bank, and I kind of came into this thinking, you know, it kind of does what it says on the tin, but it absolutely does, and it's way more. I'm really blown away. It's incredible.
And yeah, we're just constantly looking at ways that we can campaign to make it not be here, but
Yeah.
it is a long process, and we just have to be positive that by keeping, if everyone has the same voice and the same message, it will get through one
Yeah.
day. So,
Well, we'll
yeah.
try and help spread the word.
This is Alison, a local councillor who is incredibly passionate about her area, her constituents, and ensuring there is no future need for food banks as soon as possible.
To be honest, we shouldn't be standing here now. We shouldn't be talking about this.
Yeah.
This should not be an issue in a G7 country in the 21st century. In
Yeah.
London.
Yeah.
In London. This is wrong that people cannot eat. And I'm doing my best to try and ensure that bread gets into people's mouths.
Yeah. And what is your role as a trustee?
I'm sitting on a board with a few other people from the local community. We just make sure that there's enough money to make sure the food bank continues to run.
Yeah.
Also that we can buy the food, because there is a problem with donations right now. Everyone is feeling the cost of living pinch.
Yes.
And that's people who normally would rock up here with a couple of bags. Well, now those couple of bags aren't rocking up.
What's the source of that funding? Are we talking about just government or private or
We
mix of
don't
both?
take any national government funding. We take funding from the local authority.
Right.
We are happy to accept one-off payments from local authority. Indeed, we're really grateful to Lambeth Council for everything that they've done. I suspect if you walked up and down the street right now, knocked on doors and asked if people are given, I bet they have.
Okay.
So you can give online, you can rock up here and give food, which is fantastic. It's a whole myriad. In fact, we're just relying on the whole community as it looks, public, private, voluntary sector, and the ordinary man and woman in the street to help us, because without the community, we can't exist.
One of the things that I could see very clearly inside from the community was that there's an abundance of volunteers in there.
Yeah.
Like a huge amount of people just giving their goodwill and time.
That
which
is
huge.
amazing. It has been incredible.
How do you tackle the nutrition element of this?
Banquet have been incredible in this, absolutely incredible. Because what we're able to do with them is just say, okay, so we've got a shortage of lentils, or we've got a shortage of chickpeas, or we've got a shortage of pet food. We can actually choose with Banquet what we want. Now we can have it. Because we know what's needed. It's just how we get to that place with all that food, particularly protein and fresh veg coming in. All that is absolutely crucial. So we are incredibly grateful to what Robin Ferris and Banquet have done, because that enables us to actually choose what is needed and get it into people's homes and get into people's stomachs.
Yeah. What's your ask to those people in positions of power who can actually fundamentally change those distribution problems and how we should do it.
They just need to listen a little bit more. Who's eating what? Can we reduce the prices of? Can we bear in mind that there are very vulnerable people out there who don't have much? There are all sorts of ways in which you can ensure that vulnerable people access food, because it is a place of dignity. You know, when you have money in your pocket to go into a supermarket and choose what you want to eat, that is a place of dignity.
Yeah.
We don't want food banks to be here. A friend who has been very involved in the food banks and still is absolutely passionate about what we're doing here. Her brother went to prison and he was in his cell and he was with 3 other guys and he just told them on what his sister did. And those other 3 guys said they would do anything rather than allow their wives, girlfriends, sisters to go to a food bank.
You mean there was too much shame for a family member to be known to be using one?
Yeah, too much shame. These people I see here, 99.9% of people are here because it is the last resort. They want to get back into work. They want to help themselves.
What we learned here today is that actually this isn't a food bank, it's a life bank for various different services between counselling, housing and lots of other things. But I heard the phrase heat or eat.
Yes, to be honest, yeah, but sometimes people can't do either now.
Can't believe.
So that's what we're trying to address at the hubs. And our signposting officer asked me for a bit of good news the other day. I had to join up with an officer at the council just to tell him there isn't any good news.
Oh my God.
There isn't any good news.
I'm really blown away by what was in there. I just thought that food banks are food banks, but I just cannot believe the scale of the operation that goes into what they're doing. The fact that they're calling people's homes, individual homes, to find out what they need. I just didn't know that happened, and I just feel really naive for not knowing that.
What made me quite hopeful about the place though was the abundance of volunteers.
Yeah.
Like everyone's in
Willingness
there,
to help.
mucking in, sleeves rolled up, like sharing their time, making sure that everyone is getting what they need.
Yeah.
That's it was great to see.
No, definitely, and I actually do think that, like you were saying this before, it's very bittersweet because it shows how bad the problem is, but it also shows a massive effort to help. And I actually do think that if they continue the way they are, I do think that they actually will be able to make a difference.
There's definitely a better human dignity part of this in being able to go to an online platform and have it delivered to your door.
Yeah.
You know, it must be very difficult to come out of your house with your kids and come to a place like this.
Of course. Yeah.
Especially if it's a new circumstance for you, you know, with rising inflation and food costs. I think Robin said there was 1 million more people this year subscribing to needing to use food banks.
I can't believe that.
That's a huge part of the population.
Yeah.
Food poverty or insecurity is unacceptable in today's world. There's an abundance of food sitting in the wrong places and being wasted. When we spoke to Chloe Sorvino, she explained why these systems are broken and how what worked before won't work in the future. We don't have a food problem, just a distribution one. And organisations like Banquet are helping connect the dots with the willing and those in need. How, as a community, can we help find more of these alternative routes? It's clear people together in unison have every ability to create a better future for us all. The whole journey so far has been so exciting, but clearly we're just scratching the surface, and this is just the first chapter of many to come.
I think it's very easy to look at the numbers and the reality and get caught up with the worst case scenario. My view on life is to get on with it as opposed to be pessimistic about it. I'd be a very glass half full person. I'd rather contribute to the journey regardless of how long that is, for me and for mine, and contributing in a little way for everybody else as well. Andy Cato said it best. He said, we just need to do what we were doing for thousands of years that we forgot for the last 100. And I think that really sums up the show and what's said multiple times throughout the episodes, which is we need to go back to go forward. It's like slow down life, reflect, enjoy, consider, and then go ahead again. It was so significantly interlinked in the whole thing, and it's also quite poignant that I have a business called Strong Roots, and all of it was about kind of going back to your roots and beginnings and things like that. So there's an interconnectivity in all of this, which is from the soil and from the earth and the past and the embracing of that. That doesn't mean, that we can't continue to invest in AI-supported bio-meat industry innovation. Innovation is different from action. How to do things and being considerate about how innovation gets to market is one thing, not through suppression, but through, open-minded thought and planning. But ultimately, the whole show has just sort of given me a increased appreciation and perspective for, understanding how we got here to go forward.